Morning, everybody. Those that are of you that are watching this pre-recorded, I'll be starting the stream here in a few minutes. So it's been a while since I've done a stream, so I want to give some people some time to join in. So those of you that are just joining, this is a live stream or a recording, and just waiting for a few people to join before I start. So you can, when the music stops, that's likely when the stream actually starts. Um, so uh, you can forward through if you'd like through the music until it stops, and then likely that's when the stream is going. So those of you that are just joining, welcome. It's been a while since I've done some streaming, but I might start doing it once a week. So for those of you that are just joining, be patient, and we're going to start in a few minutes. Okay. Looks like we do have some people that are now coming in. All right. Good morning, everybody, or good evening, wherever you are. And today, I've decided to do a stream. And I don't have a lot going on when it comes to trades that are currently in, but I do have kind of a lot to talk about. Uh, and That has happened over the last couple weeks in regards to where I am with my trading, what's the plan, uh, funds that I have available, and questions that were asked earlier this week as well. Uh, so typically, what I do in the beginning of my streams, I go over the trades that I've had since the last stream. So that's what I'm going to do now. And since this is a live uh, or a stream, please type any messages that you have, any questions. That's what this is for. I actually had some requests for a stream, so a lot of the newbies could have some of their questions answered. Okay, and this is a good way to ask multiple questions in one place. Okay, so since the last video that I had basically just one trade. There hasn't been a lot of action on my algorithm or in live trading as well. But I'm going to show you this position. This happened late yesterday at about 2 p.m. So it was a later trade than I'd typically take, but I liked the opportunity. So if you look at this candle, so I'm looking at the bullish candle here. This bullish candle was nice because it had the wick, nice wick. It closed above the previous open of the opening of the previous candle. And I also it's not just that though. I saw this at a decent level. So I'm looking at this and here as well as a place of natural support. And so when I see this kind of candle up at that falling in line with these previous support levels, then I think that there's a pretty good chance that there's going to be a small pullback at that point. Okay, and it happened actually pretty much right off the bat. And the next candle, I was able to hit my profit of just about well, it was about 10 pips. Okay, so the trade that I'm currently in, this one hasn't quite worked out as smoothly yet, but it's looking okay. So the place that I'm looking at is the resistance up here, and then the resistance coming down and then shooting back up on the resistance and hitting an inside candle right after that. So right in here, inside candle shot down a little bit, almost hit my take profit. Needed to go down a few more pips, didn't make it, and now it's currently shooting back up. Now, typically this is what I don't show you guys a lot is when a trade does go into drawdown, how to um, work with it and when to re-enter on positions. So this could easily continue to shoot up. I do think that we are getting some resistance up here, so it may struggle to push through this heavily. But as we continue to stream, we'll see how that plays out. So Harley is asking a question. How do you feel as a U.S. trader waking up to see most pairs have already had a huge range for the day, even more than the ADR? I'm fine with that, and the reason why is because Harley, as you may know that I have the algorithm that takes my trades for me. And recently, my algorithm almost had a position. As you can see on the Euro Pound, it pushed down, right? This candle here was shaping up to be an inside candle, and in 30 minutes, it actually ended up breaking up and not quite showing us the entry. But a lot of the moves have been happening. Yes, you're right. In the Euro session, uh, the U.S. session has been pretty mellow, and the reason why is because everybody's waiting for what's going to happen with the Trump and commie stuff here on Thursday. That's going to be pretty intense. I think that people are kind of waiting to see what happens, and so that's why the U.S. session has been a bit quiet. The political scene is running. The U.S. Session has been pretty much all year now, at least during the New York sessions. Trump has put a lot of pressure now. He was strength on the U.S. dollar, and now that has changed a bit. Yeah, and the UK session as well. Yeah, yeah, you're correct. I kind of include both of them in the same session, since they're both kind of tied together in some sense. I mean, I know that the Brexit is, a separation from that, but they still affect each other in a pretty big way. So I have been finding that a lot of my positions have been taken, or on my algorithm has been taken late um, in the New York session, or in the early Japanese session, um, or in the European session. I haven't seen it in a while where some trades have gone in the early New York session. It's kind of a rare thing right now. Uh, so right now, I'm waiting for a good opportunity for re-entry. I don't want this to be too small. Well, I don't want my second entry to be too close to my first entry. So let's talk about this entry just a little bit more. Why did I take it? Um, why was this area significant? Why is it going against me? All that kind of stuff. So I saw this area of resistance, and I actually missed the first entry. Now the first entry, I didn't see it on the 15-minute time frame, but this candle was a really nice reversal candle, and it was on the 15-minute chart. I would have entered on the next candle after that. I would have gotten my 10 pips profit, but I just kind of missed the entry altogether. Whoops. It's not a big deal. I missed out on about it's only about 40, maybe $45 profit. So nothing too crazy to worry about. But yeah, I did miss that entry. I was awake when it happened. Okay, so uh, back to the 5-minute chart. I see the resistance point. So guys, the inside candles are important, but you got to make sure you enter at the right places. So uh, the reason why I'm talking about this now is because let me pull this up. Hold on. So I had a question on from one of my users or somebody that has been watching the videos, and he's asking about the RMI indicator. I noticed that you didn't use it on the 5-minute time frame. Do you only use this indicator in certain time frames or different strategies? And the time of the day you trade, does your strategy work better on range or trending markets? When do you know to stop trading if the market doesn't work with your strategies? Thanks for the time and videos. Happy success. Okay. So I don't use the RMI indicator on the 5-minute chart. No. And the reason for that is because I don't necessarily need it. I don't need the RMI indicator to help show me where the support and resistance or when the market is oversold or overbought. Okay, I just need the RMI indicator as a filter for my algorithm. And the algorithm needs a filter system because it doesn't know when the market is oversold or overbought without some indicator showing it that it is. So it's important that I have that involved. Now that RMI, for some of you that don't know what the indicator is, you can find it on mql5.com. So that's mql5.com, and if you use the search bar, you can find that just by searching RMI. I showed that in my last video, so check that last video out just in case you didn't see that. The RMI is a somewhat filter system for my algorithm, showing when the market's overbought, oversold. It's a nice nifty little indicator. It can be used in multiple ways for manual trading as well. I do think it's one of the best indicators to use overall. If you want one indicator to use in your trading, I think this is a great indicator, and I'm going to show you. So I apologize to some of you that have been watching my videos for a long time. This will kind of just be a refresher. Um, so over the 70 means that it's overbought condition, right? And it's likely to start selling at that point, or pushing down. This is an oversold onto the 30. Now, these are just standard settings. These are the standards, 70 and 30. Um, and every indicator kind of shares similarities, right? So the RMI is a lot like the stochastic, the RSI. You could even compare it to, in some cases, the CCI as well. But this indicator is kind of cool because when it passes this area, so when you see where it broke, the trend continued. But the time that it actually stopped pushing up and started moving down is when it crossed from the top to the bottom. So in and on the downside, right? So that's how we can tell when a trend is complete, likely complete, is when it moves from the top to the bottom. And as you can see here, it did push in a big way. Same thing here. When it crossed from the bottom to the top, from the underneath the 30 and crossing from above or from below to above, it pushed back up. All right, so that's kind of how the RMI works. It is a pretty good indicator. You could say, well, why don't I just enter a short position here? Well, it's because we don't know how much further this is going to go, and this is a pretty good indication of telling us when price is losing momentum, and it will start heading back down. So my EA actually looks for just the price to be above or below, and then looks for an inside candle after that, which is there's one right here, inside candle, well, almost inside candle. It was slightly higher. Um, but for example, here in an entering, that would be a setup for my EA. As you can see here, this is what a setup as well. Inside candle setup. RMI is below the 30. A inside candle bullish. Market shoots up. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of how the system works. And a very helpful RMI strategy is just watching how the volume works. Now, you can also do that just by watching the candlesticks as well. But the RMI is a really good strategy, and it gets you into trades pretty early. So if you're talking about right here, that's right about in this area in the market, and you can see that you actually will catch most of the move on the way back down if you entered after the cross. And so it's one of the earlier indicators that show you of where price may go. All right. So our trade right now is looking much better. We did have a little bit of a pushback on this candle here, on this 5-minute candle. Pretty big candle, not too amazing, but it was about 12 pips. And so I'm still seeing a resistance at this level. Now it's not quite right at this previous resistance. As you can see, it broke past. But the thing that's giving me hints that it may hold and may push back down is because of these wick candles, where they want to push up, they want to break through, but the volume's just not enough, and then they pull back down, and then that's when this candle happened. Okay, so uh, the RMI is a great tool. There's a couple of other tools that I use as well. Um, Let me see if I can load it up. There's pretty much two indicators that I use for my most successful EAs. This one's the I-bounds. I've talked about this one before. It's very similar to the RMI, and it tells you in ranging markets where price may go. Same kind of idea. Cross down, beneath, above. The market shoots back up, crosses above, back down, and then it shoots back down. This indicator is actually based off of the Bollinger Band price, and so it's quite a bit different than the RMI, but it still shows you where price may have pullbacks or reversals. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to move on. Sorry, I'm still trying to get over a cold. Okay. So let me see if I make sure and answered all this question here for CV. I don't use the RMI for the 5-minute strategy because I don't need it, as I mentioned before, because I can just pretty much spot where the support and resistance levels are. I see that this has moved up. I see that's pushed up, and so I'm looking for a pullback in price around that same area, but I want to see it in the candlesticks. Okay, so I don't actually need the RMI showing me, although I can load it up right now if I can find it. You can already see that in this area it's already above. Now when I actually entered my setup here, it was just hitting above the 70 level. So not crazy overbought, but I don't care too much because I see that it's already moved up. I see that there hasn't been a lot of pullback. There was one right here, a couple here, but this is the bigger push, and I'm expecting a pullback there, and haven't quite gotten it yet, but I'm still holding on. So I'm going to remove that. Okay, and the question, do you use this indicator on certain time frames and different strategies? I use it on the RMI is used basically on the 30-minute time frame on the pound CAD. It can also be used on the 1 hour on the pound CAD as well. I choose the 30-minute, and also the 1 hour on the euro pound is what I use it on, and have been for quite some time. So I don't use it on the smaller time frames, as I don't find it very usable. Any time of day do you trade? Yes, I trade at the most of the time from 6 a.m. all the way up until about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday I put a trade in at 2, which is not typical, but I found that the opportunity kind of showed itself to me, and so I ended up taking that position. So I can take trades throughout the entire day, even through the Japanese session if I see opportunities arise. But in most cases, because volume is too low, I won't take positions because the trades just won't show setups because the candlesticks are not volatile enough. Okay. Um, let's see. When do you know to stop trading and the market doesn't work with your strategies? Um, well, with the algorithm, it's always trading. It's always looking for positions all the time. Um, so it doesn't know when to stop, actually. It knows when to not take trades, and it knows that not to enter a position until the RMI is at a certain level, and when certain conditions are not met. But it's not taking into consideration discretion. It's not thinking, oh, well, this isn't really a great setup. It's not at a good level, so I'm not going to enter that trade. No, it's just it's following a strict set of rules, which happen to be pretty good. But unfortunately, you can't really program discretion into an EA very well. Um, but I know when to stop trading personally on my own account in manual trading, just when the volume starts to slow. And if I happen to be in trades that, I guess, follow through into the non-volatile time, or when market liquidity is low, then I will adjust appropriately. I'll wait for the volume to pick up before entering a lot of positions. I'll look at the candlesticks. The candlesticks can show you a lot of different things. How I'm looking at the from the top to the bottom, how many pips is a 5-minute candle, um, and that will show me how much volume is going into the market at this point, just by the size of the candlesticks. Okay. What the market? Let's see. Thanks for the videos. Okay, so that's pretty much the question there. I like the comment. Hope I answered it to you well, CV. And then this guy, a very good success. Thank you. So the next thing that I wanted to go over was a couple of questions on Forex Factory. So the reason why I'm doing this live, guys, is because I find that these questions can be helpful to not just uh, the traders in my streams that I've been watching, but to everybody. And so hopefully you find them beneficial. Okay. So I did receive a couple comments on Forex Factory. As you guys know, I've been posting this on Forex Factory about my videos on Forex Factory, and I also sent out a link on Forex Factory as well for the stream today. Now there was a question, okay, from OSFX. Good to hear that you decided to resume this journal. I watched all your videos and went live with the pound CAD strategy on May 1st. The first month was quite satisfying. I gained about 8%. I'm using different settings for the RMI, stop loss, and take profit, which I suppose giving me a better return drawdown ratio. Um, which which I which I suppose to okay, so I read that right. Um, so Oliver is having some success with my strategy, which is pretty cool to hear. It makes me happy that somebody's using it as well. Um, so hopefully he continues to use it. I don't know what settings he's using on the RMI, but if I can tell you one thing, is that the RMI settings can be changed quite a bit on the pound CAD in particular. A little bit less flexible on the euro pound, but the RMI settings can be changed to 60 to 30, 70. Originally it was 70-30, as you can see on here, 70-30. But on the pound CAD, it can be changed to 60, 20, 60, 40, 65, 35. It can be changed to 80 and 20. So it's a lot more flexible, and it just shows that the strategy is pretty solid on the pound CAD. It may have I have some losses in the last 10 years on my tests, but the pound CAD always made up for those losses over the years. Um, so OZFX, if you OSFX if you'd like to share any more about your trades, how things are going, your settings. Feel free to do that. Okay, so also have wins here. He's talking about um, how does you join your live stream? Well, didn't have a live stream going. It was just posting videos. Um, and it would be nice to if you had some because there are some traders out there learning. So yes, I decided to do that today and start doing the live streams again. I stopped doing them because I found that people were giving me negative feedback on the videos. I'm not sure if it was because I was doing too many streams. The things that I was saying in them weren't that great. But make sure and like these the streams or the stream today if you find it if you found you learned something. If not, if I'll base if I continue to do them off of the likes on the video because I don't want to do something that people are not entertained by or not finding beneficial in any way. It's just a waste of time on my part and on yours as well. Okay, so Crowley, I started watching your videos. Very interesting. When I first found Forex, I was looking for a quick fix, the Holy Grail, rags to riches. Experience and time has taught me that as traders, we need to be concentrating on quality, on quality, not quantity. I'm more happy than happy to have a good, steady, consistent growth to my account than extreme highs and lows. I'd like to test your methodology. Can you advise of your indicators and their settings, if you don't mind? Okay, so uh, yes, Crowley. This is probably the reason why I decided to do this stream today. Was this comment? A lot of traders are looking for a certain strategy that they can follow to the book and make a profit on. Uh, but there's a lot of issues with that because when you follow or when somebody gives you a strategy to trade, most likely you have a pretty good idea how to trade it if you have some experience. But again, it's somebody else's ideas, and they thought them out for specific reasons. You may not know those reasons, and so I urge you to try to do a little bit of research of why the certain collage of indicators were put together to make up a system, because they all serve a purpose, right? I find that some systems don't. They just kind of add a bunch of random indicators together, and some of them don't have a well thought out reason why they're on there, as other than just to be a another filter of some sort. The idea here with these streams, guys, is to help educate you to thinking for yourself. Um, I don't like the idea of handing you over a system um, because especially if you don't know how to trade it correctly and you can't find for yourself how to appropriately um, use discretion um, so the system that you're using is beneficial. And the hardest thing to teach is where to enter trades in the market. So you may know that I have a strategy of using inside candles in the RMI, right? Those are pretty much the two indicators that I use for most of my trading. But it's so much deeper than that. It's about finding the places in the market that will show potential for reversals. It's not just because of the inside candle setup. The inside candle setup is it just gives me a hint that the market might be reversing or having a pullback at these levels. And so it's just kind of a confirmation. I use it as a tool. It's a tool to of potentially just confirmation that that area of support resistance may follow through. So again, using spots in the market, I'll use some of my previous ones that can show places of support actively being obeyed and shooting up. Now my profits are quite tight. As you can see here, this is my entry. but this was an inside candle setup at a specific place in the market. As you can, if you look here, there's quite a few inside candle setups in this whole area right here. But I wanted to wait until either past this level down here, so if it broke past and gave me an inside candle setup, or it was just above, so really close to this level. I wanted to be somewhere in this area, and I did end up getting it, and it bounced from there. So you could say, well, when it went back down, you could say that, oh well, why not take another position? And I did. I took another one after the inside candle setup at the same level because I thought that it may bounce again. And I had multiple hints. So this inside candle, all right, that was one. Two, a reversal candle here. So that could have been even another entry, but obviously I was still waiting for my trade to hit profit. And eventually it did move. So why not take another position after it pushed back up and move back down? Why not take one here? Well, it was a very specific reason. The volume, the day was later. It was after 12 o'clock in this area. I was saying, well, this is okay, but I'm also looking at the swing highs. I'm seeing that the swing highs are getting lower and lower. So that means that this range is getting tighter and tighter, and it's actually moving slightly down each time as well, giving me the idea that this is has more potential to move down than up. Yes, these levels are holding, but the swing highs are getting lower, and so the idea that this is going to break was pretty strong to me. Okay, so it did break. This was a inside candle here, or a good reversal candle here. I didn't take it. I waited it out, but I could have taken it anyway, and it would have been fine. I waited till this area. Now, uh, this is the 5-minute chart. Now, the 5-minute chart is good for volume trades, for trades that when the price is actually moving and there's liquidity in the market. But I decided to not take any of those trades because it was getting later in the day in particular in this area. Um, and so that's why I went to the 30-minute time frame. Okay, so the 30-minute time frame, the higher the time frame, that means the longer I'm planning on being in the position. And that's when I saw this setup here, right near this area support. And it was a previous area support as well, right here. So this level, this level, this level again, 30-minute time frame, enter on the reversal candle. Now, so those of you guys that don't know what candle I'm looking at, again, it's this one I talked about really early on in the stream. It's reversal wick on the bottom. It's bullish after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bearish candles in a row. The closing of the candle is above the opening of the previous, and it shot up from there. Okay, so this is another good place for a reversal because it shot up, it went back down, hit that same level. So I would be looking for a reversal again at that level, but unfortunately, I don't think I was up when that happened. And you can check to see if there was any trades down there on the 5-minute chart. And this was not an inside candle setup, unfortunately, so no trade there. Let's see if there was anything on the 15-minute time frame. Not really. There were some candles like this one in particular. That looks pretty good, but the problem with it is that I would like this wick to be below the lowest point of that whole entire I guess area, and it wasn't. So I don't think I would have taken any of those because it's just not the candle setup that I'm looking for at this level. And so I'm going to move on for better opportunities. The thing is that there's so many opportunities that come by that I don't have to be kicking myself because that I missed this type of setup. That's not a big deal because I'm going to find another opportunity later on. All right, so our trade is just kind of bounce it around at this level. And so I think it's going to take a little bit of time before I see a major push here. Uh, it's acting like right now that it's pushed back down, it's gone back up, that there is more potential for this to break above. And that's what I'm seeing right now. It could be because people have seen are saying, or traders are thinking, well, this didn't really go back down. It didn't test this level. And this level here is kind of broken. It did pass it, although there was some extra resistance at the top. It could still easily hold up here, but there is more potential for it to shoot up higher. So I'm ready to enter more trades if they another second position if this continues to shoot up higher. Okay, looks like we have a new question. Hi Ryan, can you consider setting up a trade copier for some of us who are looking to make a few dollars? Would be happy with 4 to 6 per month. Uh, Roz H. I'm trying to stay. Uh, I'm trying to stay as free as possible with all of this. It's just because I've had so many years of people asking for money when it comes to using systems. I had a good friend. He was a mentor of mine, pretty much, and he said we became friends on Forex Factory, and he basically freely gave me all of his ideas, and he was a great trader. And I still use some of them today. I even still use one of the setup candles that he gave me because I find it a very important candle. And he just freely gave me this information. Of course, I shared my information with him as well, but the thing is that that's how the Forex world should be. That you should be confident enough in your strategy that the strategy makes money itself instead of making money off of selling the strategy. I find that to be the case in almost everything. When you look up a system, uh, you it usually costs something unless you find it for free on Forex Factory or a forum or something like that. But it's hard to know the actual profitability of the strategy uh, in the retail space in general, because even if you find the system free, it's hard to know if the user is still using it, if they're profiting from it. In the retail space, it's probably even harder because you don't know if the stats that people are showing you are actually legitimate. Uh, I find that people that trade in the market don't do enough testing with their system before bringing it live, before using it with a lot of money. And so there's not enough research done before products or systems are put out in the market, and that's the big drawback of the retail trading space. So Roz H, I wish I could do it for free. I think I'm gonna look at it. There are some places that most trade copier places um, don't allow it to be free, unfortunately. I think there's a place that I've considered doing it. Let me see if I can bring it up now. Uh, it'd be like mql5.com. So if you go and under signals. Now there's a lot of signals here, guys. Don't I know that you get tempted by a lot of these systems, but really keep in mind, especially if you're a US trader, of the drawdown potential with them. And that the stats can be manipulated. I've caught multiple multiple systems on MQL5 that have manipulated stats, and they are dangerous. And I would look for systems that are directly go and that are tied in with Oanda, um, and likely there's a little bit more legitimacy there. But let's just go into something like this, okay? Top MT4 trading signals. Now, this guy doesn't have a great review rating. It's 3 stars. That means that likely there's some spread issues. It doesn't work well with the broker. My EA is not broker dependent, um, and so I think that there's a good amount of safety there. But the thing is, with these other systems, they can be really all over the place. You should also look at the balance size of the actual user too. How much money are they using uh, for their trading account? You can see that this guy has made 2,573% profit, which is only 1,139 dollars in Australian dollars. That's kind of a big issue because he's not using a lot of money to trade his account. Look at this initial deposit, $200, and yet he still has 1.2 million in subscriber funds. That just seems really offsetting. If you really trusted his system, he would put more money on it. That's at least that's what I would think. Like my account, I have $29,000 in there. That's a more substantial account balance where you can trust a large amount of money. You know that I'm putting a large amount of money on it on the line when this guy is just putting $200 on the line, which he doesn't care about his subscribers. He doesn't care if they're going to lose their money or not, because in the end he's only going to lose $200. Yeah, he'll lose a bunch of subscribers' money, but he's not going to care about that. Um, so if I do something, it may be on MQL5.com because it actually integrates directly with your MT4 platform. So if you log into your tools, go under options, you go to community, and you log in there, you'll have the active marketplace. And I think if you go under, well, if you go under, oh, here it is. If you go under experts, and that's where you would find my EA once I have it listed. So I'll keep you guys updated on there about that. I'm gonna keep it as cheap as possible. I want you guys to not have to pay a bunch of money for signals anymore, or for trying to make money in the market. I think it's ridiculous. I find it frustrating that not more information is freely given out. Um, so let me see. For those of us starting, where do we go looking for a mentor? There's so many sharks out there. Uh, well, I could probably mentor people. I've done it before. I've taught a I taught a woman. She was about 30. No experience in the market. Absolutely none. She was a musician, just like me. Wanted to know how to do something new. So I taught her from the ground up of how to be a trader. Taught her how to read price. And it's crazy because in her first month of demo trading, so it was actually in her first month of trading in general, she was able to spot where the support and resistance was in the market without me being there with her. And she ended up profiting 10% in her first month. Um, yeah, that was about a year ago or so. My strategy was a little bit different, but it was a pretty big success that she was able to do that all on her own, and just after a month of training. Yeah, I saw her probably once or twice a week for a couple hours each lesson, but and she was also very bright. She was a very bright girl. Um, but it shows that you can be taught something in the market, and you can be taught discretion as well, and that is a pretty difficult thing to do on both the teacher and the student. Uh, so let me see here. There's some more questions. Rose H is also back. That's fine if one has to pay for it. It's hard to find someone that you can trust. You are one going live with people, so one can easily gauge you. Would be great if you could be reasonably priced so that the money we make covers your monthly cost. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that the lowest fee amount I can do is I might be able to do free. I might be able to do free. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll do free altogether. I'm not sure if there's going to be costs involved for me. But I think that I'm going to try to shoot for $10 a month. Uh, $10 a month for the fee. I want to try to get as many people involved in that as possible. But if it's only a few, that's fine. But I think I'll post it at $10 a month. That seems reasonable. Um, and again, I don't want this to be a paid service or type of stream. It's something that I'll do on the side. I'm not even sure if I want to do it yet. So stay tuned, Roz H. as I want to still stay a, a non-commercial member on Forex Factory. I don't want this to turn into some kind of paid subscription service or fee service or anything like that. So I hope you understand. Reach out to me if you want to talk further um, about mentoring and things like that. But like I said, I'm trying to keep this mostly. I'm trying to keep this education based. Okay. But you're not the only person I was asked. It's been multiple people, and I keep turning the idea down because I'm making enough money with trading to that I don't need it from other areas, especially $10 a month from somebody from the signal service. Um, like for example, last week I ended up making $1,176. It was a really great week. It was $400 profit, 4% profit. So this week, for those of you that are watching right now, it hasn't been huge. It's been, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Sorry to make you wait. I've got two monitors. So this week has been pretty good, but it's been not a lot of trades so far. Um, so 1.1%, which is $307 profit. This trade's going against me currently, but that's okay. They have happened. They've done that. It's done that before. And I did tell you that I thought that this was going to break. There was more momentum on the upside, so I'm gonna just have to wait and see when a good place to re-enter is. Now we've been going for how long has this stream been going for? 46 minutes. I want to try to show you where my second entry is going to be. I just don't see it yet. Now there was a potential for a a re-entry of this trade. As you guys know, I'm a basket trader, and I look for the candlesticks for a second entry. So I'm not going to pull a loss yet. This is a very small scalping trade. There was a potential for a re-entry here, but if you're looking from order one to order two, that's only 7 pips. That's not enough to um, marry entering another position so close. I don't want my trades to be too tight. Um, so this week has been pretty good with a 3% a $300 profit, um, but it's more standard. I don't have any algorithm trades yet. Nothing is really shaping up at the moment. If I'm looking at the 30-minute time frame. So my algorithm's looking for inside candle setups. So right now I'd probably be looking for a short position, and no inside candle setup has happened yet for that. All right, let's see. Hmm. Oh yes, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about today. Hang on, drink some water because I'm clearing my throat all the time. Okay. So I spoke to. This is probably going to be hopefully interesting to you traders that have been around for some time and have watched a lot of my previous videos. Now you guys know that I've been bouncing around back and forth if I want to become a CTA or if I want to stay independent. Now CTA, you may not know what a CTA is. It's a commodity trading advisor. A CTA is basically a person that is certified in the US to trade on behalf of others. And that means and that includes like big businesses as well, um, and corporations, and so that's one thing that I was definitely considering doing, and it was very expensive. I was quoted 9,000 originally, and then I was quoted 7,500 later on, and it's really expensive to become a trader because they're a CTA because of lawyer fees that are included. So it's not just it's the 3,000 to get the certification, and it's a lawyer fees on top of that. Um, so we're going to take a real quick break from that topic, and uh, and we're going to talk about what's going on right now in the market. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of action right now on the pound CAD. So we're going to see where the action is coming from. So I'm looking at the pound right now. I don't see a lot. Looking at the euro. Okay, so the euro is jumping a bit. Okay, so 25 pips in a matter of a couple minutes. Um, so we're gonna search FX Street, pull up FX Street. We're also gonna pull up Forex Factory. Okay, so no news has come out in the last little bit. Okay, so the oil doesn't come out for another 40 minutes. So why is the market jumping? A little bit right now. It could be just some actual volume play right now, since I don't see a whole lot of news. But this is the important stuff that you got to do, guys, when you're trading. If prices starts moving either in your intended direction or against you, you should try to start figuring out why that's happening. Right now, I don't see a whole lot of reason, but if you do have reason or something has come out on the news, and I'll keep checking. Um, no. It helps, I guess, guide if you should close the trade out, if you should continue, if you should wait longer to enter more positions. It helps kind of guide where you should be. Um, so looks like it's kind of slowed down at the moment. Again, it got really close to pushing back down, and now it's pushing back up. The current volume right now, it is at a whole number. We're right at the 71.74. So it could easily hold at this level and shoot back down. So I could get a little bit of luck there. So we'll just wait and see. Okay. Is there some way to send a PM to you? Yes, you should be able to write on my through YouTube, a message through YouTube. You can also go to Forex Factory and you can PM me there as well. Um, my name is Cubby Be Good. Cubby Be Good there, just in case you want to talk more about trading. Okay. So over the weekend, I talked to a trader for an hour and a half. This guy owns a private hedge fund of about 100 to 200 million dollars. He started trading quite a long time ago and has had some really big success. Turned 20,000 into 2.2 million in 12 weeks while he was at the hospital for injury recovery. So that was back in 2012. He said that he can't quite do that anymore um, because the markets have changed. He can't turn 20,000 into 2.2 million in a very quick amount of time when the markets have changed and it's hard to see a lot of consistent volume uh, or liquidity. So he says that now he got his startup by doing high risk trades, but now he understands that the amount of risk that it takes to even make 4 to 6% or 3 to 6% per month is it's a lot. I mean, and it can be tricky to even make that amount. So he was saying that I have the right idea of how to approach trading. This is coming from a guy that owns a hedge fund of a few $100 million um, and has had some great success. And he knows that what we're trying to do as retail traders is really difficult to do, a lot harder than it was in even 2012. Um, and so you guys that are trying to turn $200 into a few thousand or more, good luck because this market is so tricky right now, and it has been for the last year. Actually, no, it's been for the last two years now. The traders that can profit in this market have a lot better chance of profiting once things settle down and become a little bit more normal, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if normalcy is is something that's in the market's vision anymore because the world is kind of a mess right now. Every currency is extremely volatile or just really flat, um, and so it's really tricky to read the market, especially like news events like NFP, where typically you'd see easily 300 pips on NFP, and now we're seeing maybe 50 to 100. It's like the volume is so dead on these huge events that, well, at least that used to be really huge back a while ago. So you can't just you can't make big money anymore in the market, and if you do, you can't do it on a consistent basis. All these guys on Forex Factory. So if you just go to Forex Factory and you search on the forums and you look at trading journals, you'll see lots of interesting things, like this guy turn 800 into 1 million in in a year. I mean, okay, all right, it'd be cool if you're doing okay. You have 75, percent profit since you started, but you're also sitting on 56% drawdown right now. And his poor account balance, yeah, he's made a decent profit, but he's likely going to probably lose all that. It's these guys that are trying to make something out of nothing, and it happens. You see them come and go all the time on Forex Factory. You see these topics that happen. Uh, $250 ticket to heaven. Uh, that they come and go because they blow their accounts over and over and over again, and they try to show that they are the next holy grail type of trader, and things they always end horribly wrong. And you'll see it happen where a trader will go for a long period of time, and they'll do well for a couple months, and then they'll just hit a wall, and they'll lose their entire account because they're putting their entire account at risk. All right. So that's the tricky thing with all this is knowing how much risk that you should be taking in order to make a decent amount of profit. Most retail traders don't have more than a few $1,000s to trade with, and so it's difficult because you want to make trading a living, but you don't have the risk capital to do it, or you just don't have the capital in general to make it happen. And so that's why we have to take, um, I guess, we have to make modifications ourselves, just like I've done. So I'm going to tell you guys, since this is about transparency, I've said this to traders in the past about LMFX. LMFX is a broker and unfortunately, they're not regulated. They're not regulated in the U.S., but it allows me to use more leverage. This account is 400 to 1 leverage, and since I'm a U.S. trader, it means I'm taking a risk because it's much easier for this broker to steal my money because they're not regulated by the CFTC, which means that they do steal my money. It's very difficult to locate and find the money and to actually sue the broker. But right now they've been around for a while. They have some big backing from some websites that I know of, and they have been honest so far. Right now I've withdrawn about 15 to 20,000 from the broker, and they have given me my withdrawals every single time. So this account is 29,691, but it's actually a only 15,000. So the broker gave me a 100% bonus, and so it gives me a lot more money to work with and risk to work with as well. Okay, so this is the kind of modification that I'm talking about, that I needed to find other means to increase my account balance so I can get to my goals faster without taking necessarily more risk. The thing that's tricky with this bonus that they give you is they have a 50% cutoff. So if my drawdown reaches 50%, then I'm going to have a margin call. And so that's why I have to be very careful with how much I risk on my trades, so I don't hit that 50% cutoff. Okay. Um, okay. So yeah, Raz H, you're saying aren't bonuses a big no-no? They can be. A lot of times brokers that give out bonuses are trying to entice traders so they will lose their bonus quickly. or lose their accounts quickly. So it makes them trade with more money, and so they lose their balance at a faster rate. And that's exactly what LMFX has in mind, is that that's why they have the 50% cutoff of the account. But if you can utilize the extra 100% balance and make more profit with it without risking more, then that's something that is beneficial. And that's why I'm actually using it. So yes, bonuses can be your downfall, but it can also help you in a big way, like it is for me. So, for example, if you look at my account balance, you'll see that I've made $2,067, right? Since I started this account back on the 23rd of May. And that is double what I would be making with $15,000 account, right? $15,000 account means I can't risk as much, and so I would only be making half of that. So it allows me to make double the profit, but I have to keep my account risk at the same as I would with $15,000, just so I don't have a margin call. But the thing is that it gives me more margin to work with. And you're thinking, well, the 50% drawdown cutoff, what's the point of doing that? Why not just trade your account with 15,000 at double the risk? It's because I want to stay within a good margin amount. I want to make sure that I can utilize all the available margin for my basket trading, just in case things go south for me. And I find that this way I can make more profit while risking about the same. And so it's so far been beneficial to me, and I have seen increased profit because of it. It is a temporary thing for me to do at LMFX. I don't plan on staying with them long term, but we'll just have to see how things play out if I increase that time with them. But yes, a 50% drawdown cutoff, but it allows my strategy or my algorithm to make double the profit because of the initial balance size. All right, I hope that makes sense. It might be a little complicated. Bonuses usually are, but most bonuses at brokers have a similar kind of term in the terms of use for them. Okay, um, so back to the guy that I was talking to over the weekend. Um, he said that he could give me $100,000 to trade with as a kind of like a lending of personal funds, so I can increase this 29,000 to 100,000. But it's through one of his third-party providers, and they would basically take 50% of my profits. So if I got $100,000, that means that it would be like my account was 50 because they would be taking 50% of my profits. I don't like that idea. Um, and I don't like having to pay somebody else. This is why this setup works for me, is because I get to keep all the profits that are made on this account, um, and I don't have to pay them out to somebody else. I think I would rather have a 30,000 account of my own money than a $100,000 account that I have to give 50% of the profits to. Now you could say, oh, well, why not just to go to LMFX with $100,000 and that would be $200,000. Well, their bonus terms don't really quite work like that. Their bonuses only go up to 30,000, so that wouldn't work either. Um, so that's why I'm kind of doing my own thing. I've decided to be independent with my trading, and that's another reason why I'm doing this stream for you guys today. Is to tell you that I have decided for the time being that I'm not going to be going down the CTA route, at least not yet. Not until I can make at least 7,500, which I'm at 2,000 now, to pay for that CTA certification. And once I have that certification down, I already have multiple people in line waiting for me to become a CTA so I can trade for them. I just don't think I want to go down that route. I don't want to have to deal with clients. I don't want them saying, "Oh, why did you take this trade out? when in profit at this certain profit amount when you could have left it in and made more profit? Or why did you have this loss? And just calling me up constantly every day, bugging me about this and that. It's just not a life that I see myself enjoying, worrying about if the client's going to say this, if the client's going to say that. What am I going to tell the client if because I had a losing trade today? All that kind of stuff. It gets really tiring, and I mean I haven't dealt with it necessarily with trading, but I have dealt with it in music lessons, in teaching, and piano and things like that. Since as you guys know, I'm a musician, and it can wear you down. So that's why I've decided to go independent for the time being, especially since my account is at 29,000. Currently, I'm at $2,000 profit. I'm looking for a $25,000 profit over the course of 8 to 12 months. So I'm taking this slow. Not trying to increase my profits in a big way or over risk the account. I'm slow and steady, and then I have plans after that. And yes, it's going to take some time. I can't be a full-time trader right off the bat until I reach that goal. Once I reach that goal, things will change. Now, I am full-time trading right now, but I'm just not taking out any of the profits or much of them. I did buy my wife a blender, a $350 blender the other day from the profits that I made last week, but I'm not taking out huge amounts of income profit from my account until I reach a certain account balance. So it's going to take some time and it's patience. Unfortunately, I find that so many traders, that's you guys, including you guys. I hope I'm not going to offend you. You guys don't have patience to stay in this game for the longer period. Don't throw away a thousand here, 2,000 there, trying to grow your account by 1,000%. It can be done, but it's so difficult to hold on to that. Now, if you're smart and if you decide that you want to do that kind of trading, you've got to have a cutoff for it. For example, let's say you have $1,000. You want to increase that to um, you want to make 500%. All right. You don't have a time frame for the 500 of making the 500%, but you know that you want to do it pretty soon. Maybe not in a month, but maybe 2 months. So you're going to really push that account hard. And let's say that once you reach that 500%, you're going to stop there. You're going to stop and you're going to pull out your profit and you're going to hone back your risk. So you're making 5, 10% per month. Okay. I know that's really difficult to do. It's really tough because if you made 500% and in 2 months, it's so difficult to think, oh, well, 10% is normal now. It seems like so much less. It seems like you're wasting your time. That's not. You got to understand that making that kind of profit comes with massive risk, and you can't constantly trade like that. It's just not a viable way of working with the market. Um, so if you do trade like that, you have to have the willpower to turn that risk down when times are important, when you really want to start actually trading in the market. Because trading in the market making 500% is not impressive. That is not impressive to me at all. Because I know it's a temporary thing. If somebody does it, that's great. I've seen it happen a lot of times where somebody can make a few 1,000% or more, but they always lose it in the end because they don't know how to stop. They don't know how to pull away from the casino because that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it as growing 1,000, $100 into a million, and being one of those rare guys that make it happen. And unfortunately, that's just not how real traders should approach the market. I don't find a real trader to be a guy that can grow his account by 200% in a month. That is a gambler. He might as well go to the casino. Sorry, I'm being really real here, guys, but and this is going to probably give me some negative thumbs down on the stream. But that's how I see traders because it's tiring. It's unfortunate. It's not jealousy. It's not jealousy by any means because uh, it's why would I be jealous about somebody that's gonna eventually lose their account. It's sad. It sucks. But it's just because they have no willpower in knowing when to stop. So a good trader to me is somebody that has an idea of the realistic view behind it, and that is 3 to 6% a month. That's what my strategy achieves. But I know some good traders that can get as much as 10 to 15% per month based on their strategy and how well they can do over the longer term. But in most cases, that 10% per month is doable. A 5 to 10% per month. If you guys just shrink your goals to that, then that is something that will keep you around a lot longer. Yes, you won't see the initial profit from it. You won't see a lot of money each month, but this is trading is meant to be about the longer picture. Don't be one of those guys that tries to grow their account by a few 100% in a month, because not only is that difficult to do, it's just reckless. It's reckless to do that. And so that's why the stream is for, is to educate you guys and start you thinking about what real trading is. It's about the finding where your skills lie, um, making a profitable trading history over the longer term, more than 3 months. Um, and if you can profit longer than 3 months, then you're starting to get a good history. It may be time to start looking for a place to like LMFX where they can give you 100% profit, and you can utilize that to help push your gains a little bit faster. But you should be in for a longer run because getting to your goals may take a few years. Okay, so your cat is still heading up. Will you not enter another trade? You usually do when you get 20 pips. Okay, no. Um, I don't actually. I'm still waiting. So let's go back and talk about this trade a little bit. So you'll see previously I had a similar thing that happened, and this was just earlier this week, a couple days ago. So first trade went to $27 profit, right? So I entered again at this level. Now this level is, I think this was taken on the 15-minute time frame. Was it a 30? Yeah, it was the 30-minute time frame. And you can see that the first trade was entered here. I saw this reversal candle that happened, and it shot back up, right, from there. And why did I wait till this top area to enter a second position? Now, it wasn't because it was a certain amount of pips, because it was about 47 pips. It's because I saw a reversal pattern taking effect. I saw that the push up was starting to slow down. And by the inside candle set up here, there was a reversal pattern here that eventually took place. And then this candle following showed me that this was a good enough position to look for that pullback. All right, so let me just check real fast to see if nope, there's no reversal set up yet. So I waited patiently until I saw the right time to re-enter in the market, and you can see that it was 47 pips from entry 1 to entry 2, which is pretty substantial. But I wanted to wait it out to make sure that this push up wasn't going to continue in a big way. Now, I was getting hints of it slowing. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop and do the reversal. You always need a little bit of luck on your trades. But this was an indication for this slowing down, and that's what I'm waiting for right now. I'm waiting for this push up to slow down. Right now, I don't see any indication of that, at least any real solid indication yet. You could say that, oh, well, you have wick candles here. What about those? Those are not good enough. Those are not good enough on their own. I need more than that. I need some kind of uh, reversal pattern, some kind of candle showing me that this push may be done, and I'm still waiting it out. So we're currently at a drawdown of 41, 42 pips, and we'll see what this next candle gives. Now, this is the first bearish candle after 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row. So if this candle does not break the peak of this one and closes lower that could be a decent indication. Maybe not one to take the position on. I'll have to just see how it plays out. Um, but it could be a small hint that uh, of a small like a 1 2 3 pattern where this pushes one, makes the new high. So 1 2 and then 3 if this pushes lower, closes below the other trade. That's a likely scenario. Um, I may or may not take it because I don't think it's enough maybe to enter another position. But I also don't want to miss out on a good secondary trade. It could easily reverse at this point. I will probably there's one reason. So I'm talking through this second potential entry with you as I go, and this is the same kind of thing I do in my head. So you can actually see the process of my brain where I'm trying to make sense of what's happening. So I told you that the potential 1 2 3 pattern setup, but the biggest thing that I'm looking at is the whole number. You can see that 74 level right at it. Yeah, we're 7 pips above the whole number, but anywhere in this whole number area, anywhere from 20 pips above, 20 pips below, there is increased volatility. There's also potential for the price to reverse right off of it, but it's also potential for it to blow past. But what you'll see a lot of times at the whole number levels, you'll see this happen, and then it will eventually shoot up or eventually shoot down. But there is a place of insecurity at these levels typically, and that's what we get to look at. And if this closes, I got 2 minutes left of this candle to see what happens here. And so you'll get to see how I react to this level based on what I see. Now, if I take the position, I may take it before I explain why, but you know the possibilities right now, and why I may take it. But I'll let you know if I do take the position why I actually did, I guess, pull the trigger on it. Okay. So maybe you guys can write in what profit are you looking to make? How much profit do you want to make in trading? Now you don't have to say the right number. Nothing's correct. I mentioned that 10% is something that is a good starting point. But what do you want to make? And because maybe you can, um, you know, be a little bit more conservative. If it's 50% that you're expecting, maybe not shoot from 50 to 10% because that's a kind of a drastic change in expectation. But if you're shooting for 50% per month, maybe you should start shooting for 30. Maybe that's a better compromise, and it's easier for your mind to handle a jump from 50 to 30, because that and then after that you could try to shoot from 30 to 10 instead of just jumping from one to the other. Uh, that to me is probably a smarter way of transitioning. I mean, if you're a smoker, you're not going to just quit cold turkey. You got to kind of weed yourself off of it. And that's what I think that shooting for too much profit is a bad habit, um, and something that should be out of your vocabulary. All right, I'm going to actually take this position. Okay, um, here we go. We're going to tell you why I took this position. You already know the hints before. This candle I'm looking at, second candle made a new high, but it's the first bearish candle after a 4. This candle is an inside candle. Now, this isn't typically the inside candle setup that I look for. I like to have a bullish candle, the previous candle, and then a bearish candle. But this was an inside candle setup that was good enough for me to take. It doesn't mean that the market is going to shoot down from here, guys. And if it does shoot down, it may not shoot down as much as I need it to. We're getting a little bit of a push right now, which is good. But I think I may get a little help from the whole number, because of the increased skepticism up here at the 74 level. Now it's tough to know if the momentum is done yet. This is kind of a hint here, but it's not the best of my hints in the world of taking a secondary position. but a big reason was that hold number, and that's why I jumped down. So we're going to change the take profit levels. Okay, so why did I move my take profit to here? Well, it's just a kind of a good place to be. 23 pips from the top order and 14 or 15 from the bottom. Roughly gives me 8.6 pips, which is $47. I'm not looking for a lot here. Um, I'm in two positions now, where that means that I've accepted that the first position is not that great anymore to hold. I'm looking for a second position, which I just entered, in the hopes that this will move down. Now, I don't know if it's going to move down in the course of this video. I don't know if it's going to continue up. It easily could push up from here. We'll see. Um, and if it does continue to push up, then I will look for another entry. I've done it before. I don't like doing too many entries on trades like this, but sometimes it's necessary. So I need to set my take profits to be about the same. One of them is a little different than the other. Okay. So, hi Norbert, how's it going? Okay, so Rose H, I'd be happy with about 5% per month. That's a good expectation to have. You're a more conservative trader, but if a trader starts out with a 5% expectation or even 10% expectation, that trader to me will have a much better chance of making it in the trading world because they have a conservative risk idea, which means that they will make less, but they will also lose less, and so it automatically will keep them in trading in the market for a longer period of time, and they won't have a bunch of unfortunate losses trying to shoot for a huge profit. So Roz H, because of his idea, he's on the right track, and I think that he has a better chance of success. I know that you guys will disagree with me, or some of you will, um, because you understand. Well, I don't have $29,000. I don't have $15,000 to put into a trading account. I only have a couple hundred, and I really am passionate about trading. Uh, it's tricky for those guys. The guys that have like $500, $200, they don't have a lot of choices because they have to turn their account into grow their account by a few thousand%. And I don't disagree with them. If you have a small account like that and you want to make trading work, you either just continue to build up your account or your savings. So let's say, for example, let's pull this back a little bit. Let's say that you have $200 to put into a trading account. I would say instead of putting $200 into a trading account and growing it by 1,000%, why not just put the $200 aside into a savings account if it's extra money, and continue to do that for a few months until you get like $1,000 or more. Just keep saving up. You'll probably end up coming out with more profit in the end than when you're trading it, because you are not putting that money at risk. But if you save up all your money and put it and make it a much larger fund like I have, that's likely a better scenario for safe trading if you want to make this try to work in the longer term. All right. So I try to give out good advice, guys. I know that it may be not exciting to hear that making 1,000% per month is not really a good thing to be doing. It's just because it can be a waste of time and money. It's not exciting. People like excitement. People like to see somebody making a huge amount of profit, and it makes them think that that person's a genius. They're not a genius. They're just lucky. They may have some talent there. Okay, don't get me wrong. A trader that can do that has talent, but they need to hone those skills in so the talents can be taken advantage of in a better way. All right, so I'm going to stop talking about risk for now. I'm sure that I've hit it over the head enough now. Um, and I'm sure you guys that are watching right now are just kind of wanting to see what happens with this trade. We've been going on for an hour and a half now. It's been kind of a while. Any questions that you guys have? Because I'm considering ending before long. Because since I have been going a long time, for those that are watching this video later on, I don't want it to be something that they're watching all day, especially during if there's boring moments as well. So any questions that you might have, I may do this. If you guys give me likes on this video, I may do this stream once per week, 1 day per week. I'll try to give a little bit of notice on Forex Factory. You'll probably see me post something like I did today. This is what it looks like. All right, so I just say going live today. Have a few things I want to talk about. I'll try to give like a 5 or 10 hour 10 hours of notice. I didn't give that much today. It was only about 20 minutes, 20 30 minutes. So I'll try to give some notice, and eventually I'll probably decide on a day that I'll stream if this is something that you guys want. All right. Keep your eyes on the on your subscriptions because they will let you know when I'm going live. And also keep an eye on this trade. I know that if you guys have a chart up, you will you can see how this trade is doing. Just turn to the 5-minute chart, and you can see where I entered at 74 level. So if it moves down from 74, then you know that I probably have taken profit. Now, if it moves up, then I may be back tomorrow with another video showing you what took place. Am I still in the trade somehow, even 24 hours later? How is it looking? Is the drawdown really high? How are we going to plan to get out? And so on and so forth. So if you want an update with that, uh, stay tuned. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.